this week on Cruisin' New England. Where can you find classic cars, historic trains, and even an antique hot dog cart? Why, Boothbay, Maine, of course. I'm Paul Manette, and I want to welcome you to another edition of Cruisin' New England. Today we're in Maine at the Boothbay Railway Village. Today we're going to see a car show, an unbelievable museum, and a whole lot more right here on Cruisin' New England. All my life, I've been cruising New England, meeting great people, visiting amazing places, and discovering wonderful classic and custom car collections, nostalgic automobilia, and so much more. Come on and join our adventure. I'm Paul Manette. Let's go cruising. Closed captioning for Cruisin' New England on Nesson is being brought to you by New England Recycling. Waste put to work.
This episode of Cruisin' New England with Paul Manette is brought to you by McMulkin Chevrolet, New England's largest volume Corvette dealer.
Hi, I'm Jim Grundy. If this should happen to your collector car, are you properly protected? Standard insurance companies typically try to reduce your claim with deductions for age, wear and tear, depreciation, and condition. At Grundy, we don't do any of those things. We write agreed value policies, which means the amount listed on your policy is the amount we'll spend if you have an accident. So for the absolute best claim service and best insurance for your collector car, call us or visit us today at grundy.com.
Find out what's happening. Get up-to-date information as I travel throughout New England and beyond. To get exclusive information and behind-the-scenes photos, join me on Facebook. Hi, I'm Paul Manette, and I want to tell you about my new book, Collections American Style. I've teamed up with Berkshire Hills Publishing to create this beautiful full-color limited edition book. It features hundreds of full-color photographs, collector profiles, and historical tidbits. You'll see some of the finest automobile collections in the country, and memorabilia from The Wizard of Oz to the world's largest Kodak camera collection. Reserve your copy today at cruisingNewEngland.com.
Make it McMulkin Chevrolet, New England's largest volume new Corvette dealership.
While cruising New England, check out McMulkin, where there's always 250 new Corvettes to choose from. And a large selection of rare vintage classics, like this 1967 427 Tri-Power Corvette, or this classic 1969 Z28 Camaro, to a 1962 340 horsepower Corvette. Check them out at McMulkin.net.
The Thompson Auto Group.
Now we're back, and I'm with Margaret Hoffman, who is the Executive Director of the Boothbay Railway Village.
Thanks so much for coming, Paul. We really appreciate it.
Well, I'll tell you, this is quite a place. Why don't you give me an overview of the place?
Thanks. Well, we're actually celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. We started as a railroad museum, and you'll hear the train coming around behind us most likely in just a second. But we're a lot more than that today. We have about 24 buildings here. Some of them are historic railroad buildings. Some are historic local buildings from around the area here in Maine. And we also have a 15,000 square foot village vehicle display that you're going to explore today. And we do a lot of special events, including our biggest special event, which is our Antique Auto Days. And this is the 51st year of Antique Auto Days this year.
Well, I think it's a hidden gem in New England. There's a lot of my viewers I know that don't know about this place. So I'm anxious to have a look at what you have here and show our viewers what you got.
Absolutely. Well, the great thing about this museum is we have a lot of different kinds of things. Our time period is about 1850 to 1950. And you think about how much life changed for people along the New England coast during that time period.
Well, I know I'm not going to have a chance to look at everything you got here today, but we're certainly going to have a look at the automobiles and a lot more.
Paul, let me introduce you to our first car owner today. This is Jerry Mabin.
Nice to meet you, Jerry.
Nice to meet you.
You have a very special automobile here today to show us.
Thank you. It's a 1935 Packard convertible sedan, and it's all original. I've driven about 35,000 miles on it. When I got the car from my father, there was 30,000 miles on the car on the odometer. I've added to that with some gentle miles, but all over New England. So Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine.
Now, this is an unmolested automobile. It's never been restored.
Never been restored.
Now, you know, that's the new trend now with these, these vintage automobiles. They don't want them restored now. It's all of a sudden taking a reverse turn here that people want them with the patina on it.
That's right, and everyone says they're only original once.
Exactly. That seems to be the trend. Now, do you drive this a lot? Do you take it to shows?
Quite often, but I love to have it on exhibit at the museum, and I'm hoping that people will come here to see it.
Well, you want to share it with everybody.
Absolutely.
Okay, what do you have under the hood?
It's an 8-cylinder with 9 main bearings. In this era, Packard had a 12-cylinder, a Super 8, and an 8. So this is the smaller of the 8 engines. It's called a Standard 8.
Oh, now we got here convertible sedan. So let's explain that to our viewers.
Okay, so the convertible sedan has roll-up windows, whereas the Phaeton, we have a Phaeton on display here, has side curtains. So a convertible sedan is a car that can be fully enclosed. So I call it all-weather. You can go out on a nice summer day with the top down, but if we have a northeaster, we can still drive the car.
Thanks for sharing it with me here today.
Thanks for coming to see it.
I'm ready to see a lot more.
All right, Paul, let's go.
Okay. Now we're down on the field. I'm with Bill Rathel. You've brought a very special 1940 Cadillac here today, haven't you?
Thank you, yes. This car was owned by Alta Prentice Rockefeller. She married Colonel Prentice, and they lived in Williamstown, Mass.
Now this is an absolutely stunning automobile. Give us an overview of the car.
Well, it's 40, 75, 29. 40 means year 1940. 29 is the body style of the four-door convertible. It's a four-door convertible. V8. General Motors that year made the same car with a V8 and a V16. This is a V8.
Well, this is a beautiful automobile. It's a true classic automobile, for sure. So, Bill, I understand that this is an award-winning automobile.
Yes, it's a national first prize winner from the Classic Car Club of America. And when you win a first prize for your car, you get a badge with a number on it. And that badge stays with this automobile as long as I have it, and if I sell the car, it's supposed to stay.
Well, I'm sure it will.
With the car.
Wow, that's wonderful.
It's qualified, as a first prize winner.
Well, I can see why, and I got to tell you, thank you so much for sharing it with me here today. It's a wonderful automobile, and you're a wonderful guy.
Thank you, thank you.
A lot more Cruisin' New England when we come back.
This episode of Cruisin' New England with Paul Manette is brought to you by McMulkin Corvette, where there is always 250 Corvettes to choose from.
Order a bunch of parts to get ready for the car show this weekend?
And I got a hot deal, too.
You think? Think again.
Oh, man.
Tired of back orders? You need NPD. With 4 strategically located superstores, most orders arrive within 1 to 3 business days. National Parts Depot has quality restoration parts for Mustang, Camaro, Chevelle, GTO, Firebird, Ford, and Chevy truck. For your free catalog, go online or call toll-free.
Do you have a child with food allergies? Does your school need help managing food allergies? I'm Gina Minette-Lee, a nationally recognized food allergy author, educator, and consultant. I provide a common-sense, fact-based approach to managing food allergies at home and at school. For more information, visit foodallergyconsulting.com.
We're the Hill family, and we are Imperial Worldwide. We are the largest insulation supplier in Central Mass. We specialize in insulation, vinyl siding, seamless gutters, and closet-made shelving. And we are going to save you money. We're the Hills!
I'm Lieutenant Gary Scott. Green Mountain State has beautiful sights for all to enjoy. To protect our great state, Vermont will not tolerate drug driving. Drug recognition experts are being deployed statewide to keep our roads safe. If you get high and drive, you will be arrested for DUI.
Your special moments are something to remember. For weddings, portraits, and special events, contact Sparks Fly Photography.
Would you like more information about the Cruisin' New England Car Show series? Go to our website at cruisingnewengland.com.
Celebrate the Big E's 100th anniversary, September 16th to October 2nd in West Springfield, Massachusetts.
So now we're back and we're in the Auto Museum here, and I'm with Bob Bryant, former executive director. When I walked in here, the first thing I saw was this hot dog stand. So you got to tell me about it.
This is Bud Pierce's final version of his hot dog wagon. He had 2 or 3 others that were not motorized. This is a 1964 Cushman truckster wagon, and this is the piece that he used down in the center of Boothbay Harbor to sell his hot dogs for many years. He was the king of hot dogs, and when he retired, he donated this to the museum. We're pleased to have it. It's kind of the early version of a food truck here for Boothbay Harbor, and it makes an interesting piece for our display.
I guess he's pretty famous around town, isn't he?
Well, he was. Yeah. He's deceased now, and he left this to us in his will, and we're delighted to have it. It's a little piece of local history, which is what this museum is really about.
So I understand you also have another piece that's unmotorized.
Yeah, he has a push wagon that's on display here also.
Now, did that come first?
That came first, yep.
So he worked his way up?
He worked his way up to this, and this moves right along. When you put it in high gear, you go right down the road.
So Bob, give us an overview of the museum.
Be glad to. Basically, we have vehicles here from a 1902 Rambler up to a 1962 Rolls Royce. There's about 60 vehicles in here at any one time, and the exhibit rotates. We have a lot of New England history here. We're walking towards our fire truck that was built by the Maxim Motor Company in Middleborough, Massachusetts. This truck was built for the Newcastle Fire Department. Newcastle is a neighboring town here in Lincoln County. And so once this truck was delivered, it stayed in Maine and has been preserved beautifully, and it's on display here at this museum. So we really like the local history to be here.
Bob, I see the Boothbay Register.
Yeah, this is a great truck. It's one of my personal favorites. It's a 1926 Dodge Brothers truck, and this was gifted to us by the Boothbay Register, which is our local newspaper here. This truck was completely torn apart and restored by our staff in our workshop right here at the village.
You have a workshop here and you actually restore things?
We couldn't run without it. Because we're an operating museum and we operate a railroad and many of these cars here, we have a shop where we can restore vehicles like this and keep them running. And we also are a code shop where we work on steam boilers. We repair and fabricate steam boilers here. We're a code shop. It's an amazing thing for a museum of this size to have that capability.
So Bob, here's a 1931 Pontiac. I guess it's been fully restored.
Yeah, this is a 1931 Pontiac Sport Coupe. I call it a Pontiac Fine 6, model 409, 200 cubic inch displacement engine, has the rumble seat, and it has a roll-up front windshield called vision ventilation, they called it. This has been fully restored. The couple from New Hampshire brought it over a few years ago. The owner is since deceased, and they donated it to the museum several years ago. We're delighted to have it. It's an AACA Grand National winner, so it has been fully restored. Its rotisserie restoration has become completely redone.
So what's with the RPM, Bob?
Well, that's the owner's initials, Richard P. Marche, and his wife Cordelia, upon his passing, donated it to the museum. We're delighted.
Doesn't get any better than that.
It's a delightful car.
It's a beautiful vehicle. I'm glad you showed it to us.
Yeah.
My viewers know that I love vintage gas pumps, and this is a very special one.
Yeah, this is a Fry visible gas pump, and the whole point of this is honest delivery of fuel to your car. Prior to this, you'd take a hose and you'd put it in the car and somebody would pump gas, but nobody really knew what was going on. So the whole point of this is this would sit over a fuel tank. You take this lever and you'd pump gas up into this visible bowl here. Each one of these indicators shows the gallonage, 1, 2, 3, 4 gallons. So I want 3 gallons of gas. You'd fill it up full of here, and then you would take this, put it into the car, and then you could see your gas go down into your car, honest gas.
And only 17 cents a gallon. Bob, this might be the one I'd like to load on the trailer before I leave.
This is a wonderful, wonderful example. This is a 1957 Lotus Mark 11 Coventry Climax. This car ran in the Italian Mille Miglia. We're delighted to have it here. It provides such contrast to the other cars that we have here. This car ran in that race and it was going fine. It was first place. The fuel tank happened to split, spilled gasoline on the driver's legs. He had to pull over, get that fixed, and it ended up finishing second in that race. This belongs to one of our board members, and we're just delighted to have it here to provide that contrast and that example to the earlier cars that aren't as obviously streamlined as this car is.
I got to tell you, I can't believe the history that you have in here and the variety is unbelievable.
Yeah, this really points it out. We got everything here from the 02 Rambler to the 57 Lotus to the 62 Rolls Royce and of course the Stanley Steam cars, so you certainly have a broad spectrum of cars here.
Bob, I think this is a must-see for all my viewers. It's a beautiful place. When we come back, a lot more Cruisin' New England right here in Boothbay, Maine. We're back, and I'm here with Jim Dresden. You brought a 1938 Ford pickup truck, but it wasn't a pickup truck when you first got it.
No, it was a fire truck, and it was sitting in a junkyard, and they were going to crush it. And the body was just so nice and solid, we just could not let it happen. And it was actually a friend of mine's truck when we first started this project. It was a community project, and it went on for years. It was a long-term build. And
so what did you do with it? I mean, this has got, first of all, the color is beautiful.
Yeah. Okay. It's a what is called Maui Blue. It's very similar to a 1983 Chevrolet medium blue with a little bit of silver added to it. And then, of course, we put it on a 77 Nova SS front clip, and the rear frame is an 85 Chevy S10. And then we built the bed all by hand.
All wood, too? You did all the work yourself?
Oh, yeah, all the woodwork I did myself. And this buddy of mine welded up the rear bed. And then, like I said, it was a community project. So I built the transmission 18 years ago. We repainted the hood and the roof and a few other things 2 or 3 years ago. It's just, we use it and maintain it, you know. And the big thing is it's all metal. There's no fiberglass. It's built old school. It's got a 283 Chevy in it, turbo 350 with a Chevy 10-bolt rear end.
You did everything right, didn't you, Jim?
Yeah, it just goes down the road one hand.
So, Jim, the magic question is, do you like to drive this fast?
Well, yeah, fairly fast. I mean,
come on, admit it to me. How fast?
Well, you know, the speedometer doesn't work.
That helps.
Down the interstate, 80, 85 is pretty good. Hey, it's not very aerodynamic.
Well, you know something? The speedometer don't work for you, but it works for the state police.
Right.
Thanks for sharing it with me.
You know, so.
Thanks a lot. Now I'm here with David Reed. You brought a 1956 Chevy Bel Air, but this goes back in family history for you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Give us a story.
It was my dad's car when I was a teenager,
And when he passed away, the car was given to my brother, and I bought it off of him and completely restored the car.
Now, is this something you're going to keep forever? Is it going to remain in your family?
I get a granddaughter that's 13, so she'll probably end up with it.
So it's already promised?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you have under the hood?
I got a fast burn 350, they call it. It's got 4 1/4 horse. I got a turbo 350 automatic transmission and a 10-bolt posi rear end in it.
And you got a very relaxed interior there.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. It's the seats came out of the front seats came out of a 72 Monte Carlo, and the door panels and stuff like that, I had Jim's Auto Trim in Wisconsin build them for me. I put them all in myself.
So is this a show car or a driver for you?
It's a driver. I mean, people love this car. I get more pictures taken and stuff like that, but for me, I enjoy driving the car. I've taken it a couple of times up to the drag strip and dragged it. And I mean, I burned rubber out in front of my house with it. I mean, it's just a fun car to drive, so.
Well, David, people love the car. We love it too. Thanks for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
Now I'm here with Donald Tellier. You brought a 1940 Ford Hot Rod with you here today.
Yeah.
Give us an overview of the automobile.
I louvered the hood. I louvered the back doors, the round doors, the trunk lid.
And what do we have under the hood for this?
Under the hood is a 302 Cobra motor, Mustang.
Tell me a little bit more about the interior.
The interior is a tweed. It's a maroon and gray. I had it done in a guy in New Hampshire hooks it, and he did a fabulous job on it. And it's all got power seats, lumbar, and all that.
Don, tell me a little bit about the wheels.
The wheels are from Boyd Coddington. They're called Rotter wheels. I waited 2 years for these. They kept on he made them for me, and they kept on getting missing.
Now, when we say made them for, these are actually custom wheels for you.
Custom wheels for this car. So he made 8 sets for this car, and I never got either one of them. So I called him. I says, I never got my wheels. Where are they? He says, I send them. I says, no, I never received them. He said, I'm going to make another set, and I'll put them on the plane personally. And I got them the next day.
And what about the paint?
The paint is a ruby red pearl.
Now, is that a custom paint? Where'd it come from?
Well, the base coat is it's a 99 Avalon color. And I put some red pearls in it, and then I cleared it.
Now, I got excited when I saw you here today, because you've been in some of my top shows like the Super Wheel Showdown a couple of times. And I think we're going to see you at the next Super Wheel Showdown.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing the car with me.
Thank you.
A lot more Cruisin' New England when we come back.
When you're visiting Vermont, never drive while distracted or impaired, and always remember to buckle up. That's the best way to ensure everyone gets home safely.
Make it McMulkin Chevrolet, New England's largest volume new Corvette dealership.
While cruising New England, check out McMulkin, where there's always 250 new Corvettes to choose from. And a large selection of rare vintage classics, like this 1967 427 Tri-Power Corvette, or this classic 1969 Z28 Camaro, to a 1962 340 horsepower Corvette. Check them out at McMulkin.net.
The Thompson Auto Group.
Imperial Worldwide insulation vinyl siding, copper and seamless aluminum gutters, closet-made shelving systems, and zero-clearance fireplaces. We strive to make the building process easy and fun.
Check out Cruisin' New England Productions' website. You'll see updated information about our fun car show series, including the Magical Mystery Cruise, the Circle of Champions, the Super Wheel Showdown, and the Spooktacular Cruisin' Classic. Also subscribe to Cruisin' New England magazine. We feature some of the hottest rides in the Northeast, along with event listings and a whole lot more. Don't miss a single issue. And if you want more information about sponsorships, advertising, or personal appearances by Paul Manette, email us at cruisenewengland@aol.com.
Building Maintenance Services. We've been servicing the Northeast since 1990. We service and repair revolving doors, automatic and handicap doors. We can help you design an attractive, efficient entrance you can be proud of. Protect your investment and secure your property with yearly maintenance contracts and 24-hour service. Whether in office, medical, or commercial high-rise, we'll get the job done right for you. Building Maintenance Services.
Do you have a vintage car, boat, motorcycle, or airplane collection, along with some memorabilia? Would you like to be featured on our show? Email us at cruisenewengland@aol.com.
Now we're here with Dale Watson. He's brought a beautiful 1936 Ford Coupe. Tell us about the car.
This is a 1936 Ford 5-window coupe with an 8BA flathead engine in it. It has dual carburetors, Edelbrock heads. It's all original car, very nice original body, brand new LeBaron Bonney upholstery in it. The car looks authentic and original going down the road, but it's been modified extensively. It has a rack and pinion front end, disc brakes. If you notice, the wheels are not 36 wheels, but they have 36 hubcaps on them. The wheels came from Coca tire, radial tires, and they accommodate the 36 Ford hubcaps.
Tell us about what you have under the hood.
Under the hood is an 8BA Ford flathead original type engine. It was modified from 85 horse to about 150 horse. It has Walker aluminum radiators, alternator.
So you did the interior over, it looks beautiful. Is that kind of looking original there?
That is an original upholstery from LeBaron and Bonney Upholstery Company. It's the original Cadoba brown paint. Everything about the car is authentic.
Thanks for sharing it with me today.
Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. Now I'm here with Dick White, and today he's brought a 1963 Dodge Dart convertible with an unbelievable story, I understand. It didn't look like this when you got it. Tell us about the car.
I got it out of a junkyard. It was in a line of cars to be crushed, and I bought it locally in Wiscasset. And come to find out, I knew this car when it was new. And I was riding in it one day. We'd been at a high-low club outside of Worcester. I worked for a phone company at the time, traveling. And we lost control of it, and I hit the curb and hit a telephone pole. Wow. And then I never saw it again until I bought it, and then I realized where I had seen it before. It was white at the time. So a total restoration. It wasn't even a parts car. So I bought, that was in 2001 when I bought the car. And about 2 or 3 years of restorating. I'm retired, so I have the time. And so this is a result.
Dick, why would you take on a project like that? I mean, you're talking about something that's getting ready to be crushed, and you're going to take this on?
I like doing it, and it's a challenge. Can I do it? Let's see. And it had an awful lot of work that had to be done to it, of course. It was all rusted out, and I had to buy a parts car, and I found one, so it went together. I didn't do the paint job. That was done by somebody else.
Well, you took it from an original white car and you made it into a beautiful red convertible.
That's right. And it's a GT, and it's the only one I've ever seen.
And what do you have under the hood on this?
It's a 225 slant 6.
Very good. The whole car is beautiful. The interior looks beautiful on this thing. Is this car as fun to drive as it is to look at?
It is. It's a beautiful car to drive. Smooth and slick and no problem free.
You get any waves from the girls?
Oh, a few times.
Now I'm here with Ted Foss. He's brought a 1965 Corvair Monza with him here today. But this is kind of a special Monza, isn't it? Especially the color.
Yes. I bought it in Florida, and it was white when I bought it, and I painted it white, and I traded it away, and he painted it white. And then when I traded back for it, I decided to restore it, and when I got down to the bottom, it had this color, so we ran the VIN, and sure enough, it was evening orchid. So I went with the original color.
Well, let's talk about that orchid, because you see the same color on other automobiles, and actually it's the same color code. Am I right?
It's the same color code, but they called it a different name. If it was a Buick, I don't know what the names were, but Evening Orchid was special for Corvair, and then the same color went through GM, but it was different names.
If it was a GTO, it was Iris Mist, right? So you must have been very happy to see this purple underneath that white.
Yes, definitely.
So now it made it even a more rare car. I can't believe that they would even paint it. What do we have under the hood, or should I say the trunk, in this one?
It's a 2-carburetor, a 110, 6-cylinder, sometimes called a pancake.
Well, I always felt that Corvairs were ahead of its time anyways.
Definitely.
You know, the real economical automobile. Not everybody collects Corvairs. Why'd you do it?
Years ago, I was in the state police, and the colonel of the state police had a 62 Corvair as his state-issued vehicle. And he picked up a prisoner that escaped from Thomaston that was hitchhiking in it, and I bought it when the state got done with it. And I outgrew it, and I always liked the Corvair, so when I went to buy a car that would appreciate, I bought this one.
Is this a drive you take it everywhere, or is it just
I use it all the time.
You use it all the time. Well, it's a beautiful car. Thanks for sharing it with me here today. I want to thank Margaret for a wonderful day here today at the Boothbay Railway Village. I'm Paul Manette. Until next time, I'll be cruising New England.